In her office, awash in the springtime sunlight, Linda Wilson observed the wedding photo on her desk, a 5-year-old memento that, instead of joy, evoked a peculiar unease. Her parents' smiles in the picture barely masked their disapproval, a sentiment that still, to this day, caused her chest to tighten. There she was, in pristine white, embraced by Michael, a moment meant for happiness, yet marred by her parents' subtle expressions. Growing up alongside her sister in a tranquil suburban neighborhood of Hartford, Connecticut, Linda's recollections were far from serene. Caitlin is sure to find a vocation aiding others. She recalled her mother's voice, lauding her sister as if it were just yesterday. The constant comparisons, starting in their youth, had become routine. Despite excelling beyond her sister academically, her parents' focus invariably remained on Caitlin. Even during Christmas, Caitlin's gifts were always the first to be unwrapped. "You're intelligent, you'll manage, but Caitlin requires extra attention," her father would invariably state in the same tone. Even when Linda achieved academic excellence, the dialogue pivoted to Caitlin's volunteer efforts. At their high school graduation, while her parents proudly discussed her sister's cheerleading, Linda delivered the valedictory address. Each time, she learned to smile discreetly and subdue her feelings. Nevertheless, Linda persistently carved her own path, graduating at the top of her class from a renowned university and building a career at a pharmaceutical firm, where she met Michael, an investment analyst, who introduced her to new life opportunities. On her wedding day, in her parents' 1980s-era colonial-style home, as she prepared for the understated ceremony, her mother casually yet painfully remarked, "When Caitlin marries, we must arrange something more lavish, perhaps at that exquisite hotel near West Farms Mall." Michael had tenderly held her when those words stung. "Don't fret. Let's embark on our new journey together," he had reassured. The warmth of his hands and the gentleness of his voice were still vivid. 5 years had elapsed, and family interactions had diminished to perfunctory calls and sporadic emails. The Sunday brunch tradition had slowly dissolved. The emails perpetually touted her sister's nursing accomplishments at Memorial General Hospital. Their parents proudly highlighted their daughter's helping profession, all the while downplaying Linda's advancements at the pharmaceutical company. Caitlin assisted numerous patients today. She's truly discovered her purpose. Linda could only muster formal responses to such emails. Instead, she dedicated herself to her role as manager of Pharmco Incorporated's compliance department. Her judgment was consistently precise and balanced. Her knack for unemotional decision-making was, paradoxically, a skill honed through her family interactions. The Starbucks latte on her desk cooled, while the spring sunlight continued its warm ingress through the office window. In this modern edifice of glass and steel, Linda turned from the wedding photo and refocused on her computer. She sipped the cooling latte, its bitterness seemingly a foreshadowing of impending events. Her computer displayed Facebook's timeline. During a brief respite between client meetings, she scrolled idly. Posts from kin and acquaintances streamed by. Her scrolling halted abruptly. "A new life is born at Memorial Hospital. Our angel Emma." Linda's gaze fixated on the poster's name. Caitlin Anderson, her sister. The photo depicted her sister cradling a newborn, wearing an uncharacteristically serene expression. Their parents flanked her, beaming, celebrating the new arrival. Her mother's eyes were tearful, her father's expression proud. However, Linda's attention was drawn to something at the photo's edge, a familiar black leather luxury wallet, the one she had gifted her husband for Christmas, beside which lay the unique keychain Michael had acquired during his Las Vegas business trip. "It can't be," Linda murmured, her fingertips trembling. She checked the post's timestamp. 30 minutes prior. Michael was supposedly on a business trip to Chicago. A cold sweat coursed down her spine. The office air conditioning suddenly felt intrusive, while gentle spring breezes scattered cherry blossoms outside. Linda's core was chilled. "Stay calm, she whispered, taking several deep breaths. Her compliance department experience was now invaluable. She needed to avoid emotional responses and preserve evidence. She photographed the computer screen, saving screenshots, the post's details, comments, and likes. "Oh, Linda, how rare to see you on Facebook at this hour," a voice interjected. Turning, she saw her colleague Jennifer, attempting to glimpse the screen. Linda swiftly closed the browser. "Just a brief pause. I'm departing soon," she replied, maintaining a steady voice. Jennifer seemed perplexed but said nothing. Further, "Congratulations, wishing you happiness." Her fingers quivered as she typed a comment on the post, desperately suppressing her emotions. She pressed send, the posted message feeling somehow empty. From her desk drawer, she retrieved a business card for the Blackstone Detective Agency, a trusted firm she had used for company investigations. Linda dialed the number. "Hello, Blackstone Detective Agency." "Hello, this is Linda Wilson from Farmco Incorporated." "Miss Wilson, it's been a while. How may we assist you today?" "I need to request a personal investigation." After hanging up, Linda organized her desk, canceling her afternoon meetings. She emailed her secretary, Sarah. "Leaving early due to illness. Please reschedule all afternoon appointments for tomorrow." Grabbing her handbag, Linda glanced out the window. The spring sunlight continued to illuminate the city, yet to her, the scene seemed foreign. Before exiting, she checked her smartphone. The Facebook post had garnered dozens of likes and congratulatory messages. Among them, Linda's congratulations floated coldly. Stepping into the elevator, her gaze fell on her wedding ring, the emblem of the love and trust they had vowed 5 years prior. Its sparkle now seemed mocking. In the lobby, the receptionist greeted her cheerfully. Linda offered a perfunctory smile and swiftly left the building. In the early summer weather, people bustled through the high-rise district. She hailed a taxi, providing the detective agency's address. As the car moved and the cityscape flowed past, Linda quietly steeled her resolve. This was the beginning of the end, and it would mark the start of a new life. The Blackstone Detective Agency was situated on the 15th floor of an old downtown office building. She had visited before for company matters, but today felt profoundly different. Exiting the elevator, she saw the dull brass plate at reception. A woman in her late 50s greeted her warmly. "John Blackstone is awaiting you." The meeting room was furnished with heavy wooden furniture, and photographs chronicling the agency's history adorned the walls. "Miss Wilson, it's been a while," Mr. Blackstone greeted in his customary navy suit. His graying hair and gentle expression lent him a fatherly air, yet his gaze was discerning, reflecting years of experience. "This is a personal matter," Linda began, explaining the situation and showing him her smartphone screen, the Facebook post, the wallet, the keychain, and her husband's purported business trip. Her voice remained surprisingly composed. "I understand." Blackstone nodded deeply. "We'll begin with basic fact-checking. Your husband's recent behavior, credit card usage, phone records." He meticulously noted the necessary investigative steps. "Given our long-standing trust, we'll prioritize this." True to his word, the investigation results arrived swiftly. The first report detailed Michael's travel records. While company records indicated a Chicago trip, his name was absent from any airline reservations. Instead, they found a reservation at the Ritz-Carlton, a luxury hotel near Memorial Hospital. "We've reviewed security footage." The detective's report included photos of the two meeting secretly in the hotel lobby. Caitlin wore a flashy red dress, Michael his usual well-groomed suit. They conversed intimately, exhibiting no signs of guilt. The credit card history was equally revealing. Luxury restaurants, brand shops, and most shockingly, continuous purchases from high-end baby stores over the past 6 months. Everything had been meticulously planned. "We've analyzed phone records." Flipping through the report revealed a disturbing pattern. While Linda worked late, frequent calls occurred between Michael and her sister, over 500 calls in the past year. "We've also obtained Memorial Hospital records." Blackstone produced a new file. Pregnancy was confirmed 9 months ago. According to the attending physician, she had regular checkups, and the due date. He paused. coincides with when Michael first started his business trips. The evidence continued to accumulate: records of a luxury stroller purchase, rumors of visits to an upscale hot spring, and, most decisively, hospital security footage of Michael repeatedly accompanying her to prenatal checkups. With this evidence, you'll have a significant advantage in divorce mediation. Linda nodded quietly at Blackstone's words. As a next step, let me introduce you to a reliable lawyer. Just then, Linda's smartphone vibrated. A new Facebook notification. More likes on her sister's post, fervent comments from their parents, and congratulatory messages from friends. Among them, Linda's congratulations glowed coldly. "Miss Wilson?" Blackstone spoke softly while organizing the documents. "In my experience, many clients become emotional, but your composure is remarkable." Linda offered a wry smile. "It's what I learned in the compliance department. Don't be swayed by emotions, gather evidence, follow procedures. Still, this is family betrayal. If you need anything, contact us anytime." "Thank you." Linda stood, gazing out the window. Twilight was descending, casting a soft light over the city. "But I'll be fine. This isn't an end, it's a new beginning." Before leaving, she turned to Blackstone. "One more request. Could you investigate my parents as well?" "I suspect they knew about this." Blackstone nodded silently, his expression indicating his readiness for the new investigation. Outside, the twilight city bustled with people returning home. Linda inhaled deeply. The air hinted at night, yet her heart felt surprisingly serene. She scheduled an appointment with the lawyer. The evidence was sufficient. Now it was time to prepare legally and await the moment to reveal the truth. As she entered a taxi, Linda's eyes fell on her wedding ring, now superfluous. Her parents' house retained its familiar appearance of over 30 years: the manicured lawn, her mother's beloved rose garden, and the old brass door knocker. Everything was familiar, yet alien. Linda took a deep breath in the car. The final report from the Blackstone Detective Agency was in her bag, containing all the truth, including the investigation of her parents. "Are you prepared?" Sarah Cohen, the lawyer, asked quietly from the passenger seat. In her late 40s, she was renowned as a divorce specialist. "Remember, many people support you." When she rang the doorbell, her mother emerged. "Oh, Linda, how unexpected." There was a slight tension in her voice. Everyone was assembled in the living room. Her father sat in his usual spot, looking up from his newspaper. Caitlin, in a flashy post-pregnancy dress, held the baby, and Michael stood by the window. "Thank you all for gathering." Linda's voice was surprisingly steady. The sound of Cohen opening her briefcase echoed in the somber atmosphere. "What kind of gathering is this?" her mother inquired anxiously. "It's a place to discuss the truth," Linda replied calmly. "First, please examine these." The evidence was spread on the table: photos of secret meetings, credit card records, hospital records, and numerous messages between her parents and Caitlin. "This is—" Her father's face paled. "Wait, let me explain," Michael interjected. "At first it was just sympathy. She seemed lonely." "Lonely?" Linda's voice quivered slightly. "Or were you merely bored with our marriage?" "That's not it. Before I realized, I was in too deep," Michael continued. "I genuinely love you. Can't we overlook everything and start anew?" "Start anew?" Linda laughed softly. "You can say that after seeing this evidence?" Caitlin suddenly stood, handing the baby to their mother, wearing a defiant expression. "Yes, I did it. I wanted to undermine Big Sister's flawless life. Always being compared. Big Sister is intelligent, excellent. Caitlin—" "Caitlin," her mother tried to interject. "No, Mom," Caitlin persisted. "Big Sister ruined my life. Parents' expectations, everyone's judgment, everything. So I wanted to do the same to her." "Be quiet," her father shouted, but his voice lacked conviction. "And you, Dad?" Linda retorted calmly. "Why did you ignore their affair? According to the detective's report, you must have known." Silence dominated the room. Her mother began to cry. Then Cohen cleared her throat. "Mrs. Anderson," the lawyer addressed her mother gently, "could you share your past?" The color drained from her mother's face. "How?" "We've investigated everything," Linda stated. "Your teenage pregnancy, hasty marriage, and—" "Stop!" her mother screamed, but it was unstoppable. "Is that why you fixated on Caitlin's happy marriage?" Linda questioned. "Is that why you said, 'We'll do something grander for Caitlin at my wedding'?" "I didn't want her to endure what we did." Her mother's voice trembled. "Appearances matter." "And what about my life?" Linda's voice for the first time showed emotion. "What about my happiness?" Her father stood. "Linda, Dad was swayed by Mom and overprotected Caitlin." Linda interrupted. "My independence was misconstrued as coldness, and we drifted apart. You ignored your daughter's affair, all for family appearances." No one could dispute the evidence. "Now let me outline the schedule." Linda regained her composure. Cohen produced documents. "First, the divorce mediation schedule. Then," Linda continued, "I'll report to Michael's company and Memorial Hospital by tomorrow. The investigation results regarding their inappropriate relationship." "Wait!" Caitlin cried out. "My job!" "You should have considered that," Linda said coldly. "Actions have consequences." "Social media announcement," Cohen confirmed, as planned. "Linda, please," Michael pleaded. "I'll demand substantial compensation from you," Linda stated, ignoring her husband, "and money to sell the parents' house and relocate." "The house?" her father exclaimed in surprise. "Yes, your credibility. Here will be forfeited." The baby began to cry. Her mother silently rocked the infant. The once perfect family portrait was disintegrating. "Let's conclude this." Linda stood. Cohen quietly packed the documents. "Linda!" her mother called out. "Are you genuinely—" "I'm going to be happy." Linda turned and declared, this time truly. Leaving the tension-filled living room, she didn't look back. Her new life had already commenced. 1 year later, in spring, from the top floor of a glass high-rise, Linda surveyed the city from her new office. 3 months had passed since her promotion to Director of Compliance at Farmco Incorporated. Her spacious corner office still bore the scent of new furniture. On her desk lay a Business Week article, featuring Linda's photo under the headline, "Female Leader Building a New Era in the Pharmaceutical Industry." The interview lauded her innovative compliance program. "Miss Wilson, preparations for the next meeting are complete." Jessica, her new secretary, announced quietly. Her previous secretary, Sarah, had been promoted on Linda's recommendation. "Thank you. Just 5 more minutes." Outside, a clear sky extended after a spring storm. The new leaves on the street trees shimmered in the sunlight. Her smartphone vibrated. A notification from a local news site. Former Goldman and Partners analyst denied new position on West Coast. Though Michael's name was absent, Linda knew it was about him. After the divorce, he had resigned, his life spiraling downward. High alimony, a ruined reputation. She last heard he was working at a small securities firm in a provincial city for a fraction of his former salary. Another tab displayed an article about Memorial Hospital. Nursing license suspension appeal, rejected due to inappropriate relationship. Caitlin's life had also changed drastically. Fired from the hospital and stripped of her nursing career, she had moved back in with their parents. Single motherhood proved more challenging than anticipated. Her parents eventually sold their longtime home and moved, the loss of credibility in their community more severe than they had imagined. For them, who had prided themselves on their teaching careers, it must have been an unbearable reality. In the end, striving to maintain appearances cost them everything. Linda whispered softly, without regret. From her desk drawer, she retrieved a photograph, the wedding picture from 5 years ago. What once constricted her heart now felt like a distant memory. The photo went quietly into the shredder. Her new life was more fulfilling than she had imagined. On weekends, she attended a yoga class she had long been interested in. Sunday brunch with friends she met there had become a new pleasure. Even dinner alone, with ingredients from Whole Foods, felt like a luxury. "Miss Wilson, it's time." Prompted by Jessica's voice, Linda stood. Today's board meeting included her presentation on the new compliance system. As she entered the hallway, young employees bowed respectfully. Her former reputation for coldness had transformed into admiration for her dignity. On her way to the conference room, her smartphone vibrated again. A notification from an online dating app, confirming dinner plans with a university professor she had matched with. Their intellectual conversation had flowed naturally from their first message. Still, taking it slowly, she reminded herself, though she couldn't deny the excitement of new possibilities. Before opening the conference room door, Linda checked her appearance. A navy-tailored suit, a subtle pearl necklace, understated yet perfect makeup, and an expression radiating confidence. "Good morning." Linda's voice, as she entered the conference room, was dignified and strong. Outside, the spring sunlight heralded a new season. Gazing at her reflection in the glass table, Linda smiled slightly. Not a smile of victory or revenge, but the quiet expression of pride from a woman who had reclaimed her life. "Shall we begin?" Linda's voice echoed in the bright conference room. This wasn't an ending. It was merely another commencement of a new narrative. Equal sign, 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 equal sign. Kratko opasani equal sign, 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 equal sign. Okay, here's a YouTube video description from the first-person perspective, designed to be intriguing without giving away the major plot points. For years, I've lived in the shadow of my perfect sister, always striving for my parents' approval that seemed just out of reach. I thought I'd finally found my own happiness when I married Michael, but a single Facebook post shattered everything. Join me as I uncover a shocking betrayal that goes deeper than I could have ever imagined, forcing me to confront not only my husband's lies, but also the painful truths about my own family. This is my story of taking control, seeking justice, and finding a new beginning I never saw coming. It's about more than just a broken marriage. It's about a lifetime of secrets finally coming to light. Get ready, that true is stranger than fiction.